So I am just getting over a cold, but I have been using Microsoft Surface Book for the last little while, and Microsoft calls it the ultimate laptop, as it has the ability to completely convert from powerhouse laptop to tablet within seconds. So is it as good as Microsoft says it is? Let's find out. The model I have has a 6th generation dual-core Intel Core i7 processor which runs at 2.6 GHz. There's also a 512GB SSD, 16GB of RAM, and the custom discrete GPU. So this model is sort of the mid-range to high-end Surface Book, and it retails for $2,699, and the cheapest one costs $1,499, the most expensive $3,199. So overall, pretty expensive as laptops come. Opening a laptop with one hand is impossible, so I wish Microsoft made it a bit easier to open, but it's still fun. The ever so famous hinge is still super cool to this day and is almost hypnotizing and mesmerizing to watch. However, it also feels a bit looser than how it was when I first started using it, and it makes a sort of weird peeling sound whenever I move the display up and down, but this could just be my unit. The design is one of the most standout parts of the Surface Book. It's simple and beautiful. The magnesium casing both looks and feels great, and the attention to detail is outstanding. The keyboard feels amazing, and for those switching from MacBook Pro, you'll love it. The glass trackpad is phenomenal, and comparing it to the trackpad of a MacBook Pro again, it's also very similar. Scrolling, tracking, and clicking is perfect, and I felt no need to grab a mouse at all except for gaming. For ports, you'll find 2 USB 3 ports, an SD card reader, charging ports, mini display ports, and the headphone jack, in an unfortunate place for laptop mode, but in a good place for tablet mode. The display or tablet portion is very impressive. The display is a 13.5-inch PixelSense 3000 by 2000 resolution touchscreen display, and it is outstanding. The colors, sharpness, contrast, brightness, and viewing angles are all absolutely excellent. Touch response is also perfect, and there's really no problems there at all. But when tapping the display, there is a bit of screen wobble, but that's very common amongst all laptops, but perhaps on the Surface Book 2, a stiffer hinge portion would be nice. Near the top of the display are the 2 front-facing speakers which sound good, but at higher volumes they crackle and distort. Right above the display is the 5-megapixel webcam, which does the job well, and like Microsoft's latest Lumias, it will log you in by simply looking at it, which is perfect. No long passwords, no fussing with fingerprint scanners, it's awesome. And on the back, there's an 8-megapixel camera, which I don't really want to see using in public, please, and trust me, I have seen this before, people using laptops for photography in public, and it looks ridiculous, but this camera actually takes some pretty decent shots overall. The display portion separates from the rest of the body with Microsoft's awesome detachable system by hitting a key on the keyboard or on screen. At first, I was experiencing quite a few glitches with the tablet portion not working and turning off, but through software updates, Microsoft seems to have really fixed that completely. As a tablet, it feels great in the hand and is good for tasks like browsing the web or watching YouTube videos. When you do disconnect it, you lose out on the discrete GPU, which in turn limits some programs, and you're left with the Intel HD 520 integrated graphics, but more importantly, you lose a lot of battery life. Before saying how much battery life you get in tablet mode, let's briefly discuss battery life for the whole system. The Surface Book essentially has 2 batteries, one in the tablet portion and one in the keyboard portion. Using the laptop for a day on full brightness, playing games, doing some Photoshop work, and watching videos gave me about 5 hours of total battery life. While other sources claim about 7 to 10 hours maximum throughout their full day of usage, and Microsoft says about 12 hours of video playback. Standby used to be horrible. I'd leave the laptop on overnight and it'd be dead in the morning, but now it seems to do a much better job. Tablet battery life is quite weak. It only lasts about 2 to 3 hours, which is understandable since it is running a full version of Windows 10, has to power other laptop grade specs, and a very sharp display. But now that it is removed, you can also redock into tent mode, presentation mode, or clipboard mode, which is like tablet mode but with more battery life and more bulk. Now, let's talk performance. Real-world usage is important to me over everything else, but for those looking for benchmark scores, here they are. Doing daily tasks, the computer stays quiet and fans only come on under intensive load and are not very loud at all. The computer only gets hot near the hinge and mainly the tablet portion, but it's not noticeable at all during use. For gaming, Counter-Strike Global Offensive on maximum settings is not too smooth, but is much better when the settings are turned down, and Minecraft on the highest settings is very smooth and enjoyable, and it's great for games like these, but anything super graphically intensive, this is really not the best choice. Adobe's apps like Photoshop and Illustrator are apps that I use daily for thumbnails and other work, and they perform excellently on the Surface Book. Especially with the addition of the included Surface Pen, it makes for using graphic design apps awesome. And speaking of the Surface Pen, it's excellent. It sticks to the left side of the tablet for storage and it feels great in the hand. The top has an eraser and doubles as a function button, and the actual nib itself is a dream to use. Latency is outstanding and makes drawing extremely fun on the Surface Book. Compared to something like the Apple Pencil, they have quite a different feel when drawing or writing. The Surface Pen feels softer and the Apple Pencil feels more rigid on the displays of their respective devices. After using this laptop for a long period of time, I've really fallen in love with it each day, but more so the concept. The concept of two devices in one, and it makes me look forward to the future of the Surface Book, but also the future of laptops in general. So is this the ultimate laptop? Just about. Still to this day, it's an excellent machine, and I think when the tablet battery life improves and the price is able to decrease, this is going to be an absolutely excellent product.